This video goes with a blog that I just posted, which is how to make sense of spreadsheets, filters, and sorting. So spreadsheets are one of my most favorite things because you can organize data and you can track things and you can do complex functions. There's kind of like a lot of things you can do with them. They have a lot of flexibility. However, sometimes you get a spreadsheet from someone else and it looks like this, which is pretty overwhelming. This was actually something I used the other day, last week. I was getting some Cisco credits and this was the current spreadsheet of what classes I could take. Unfortunately for me, when I started looking at it, I was immediately overwhelmed because I can actually scroll a little bit. There's a little more over here, and then there's this goes on and on. I am continuously scrolling here. So I'm going to go back to the top. So for me, that was a little overwhelming trying to decide what did I even want to take and what things interested me. And so I found a way to make it work for me. So what I did was I added filters and then I sorted it. So filters and sorting are very different. Both of them, what they do have in common is they don't actually change the data in the spreadsheet. So sometimes, like, you can hide, like I could have hidden this row right here. I could hide this and that would get rid of some things, but I would have to sit and pick the things I wanted to hide. That's kind of tedious. But if I were to actually like delete things out, that would change the data, obviously, right? So I don't want to do that. So filters and sorting do not change the data. They just change the way the data is displayed. So filtering, the thing about filtering is that it is going to hide data that you're not interested in seeing. And sorting is then going to change the order of the data that you see. So it doesn't hide anything, it just changed the way that you view it. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter data. So for me, the easiest way to do that is to highlight what I want to filter. These are the obviously the column headings, right? So that's how I'm going to filter. So if I highlight that row, I just clicked over here in this cell just to the left, so I get the whole row. And I'm going to go to data and I'm going to say filter. And hopefully you noticed it happened really fast, but now there is a little drop down arrow next to every single title. So I'm going to show you how that's helpful. For this particular purpose, when I was doing trainings, the target audience, for me the AM is what applies. So I went over here and I undid things that didn't have AM in them at all. Because, well, and definitely not yet available because I don't know who those are for, right? So I deleted everything, and when I say deleted, I shouldn't say deleted. What I mean is I removed them from the view. So I am filtering them out. That's what the filter does. So everything that has a checkbox is viewed, is viewable, and everything that is unchecked is not viewable anymore. Okay, so the data still exists, it's just not viewable. So then I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice already this got much bigger, meaning there's much less to scroll because I just filtered out a whole bunch of stuff. So the other thing I did, which to me makes a lot of sense, is you can't see it in here, but every once in a while for the link to take these classes, there's one that'll say not available, meaning there isn't a link for it yet. So I took that out because if it's not available to watch, there's no sense in me looking at it. So I scrolled all the way down to the bottom and I did the TBD. So there was also a not available, but I think that fell out when I changed my target audience. So I'm going to take that out because that's not going to help me. And then the next thing I did was I looked and I didn't see anything else that I really wanted to filter because I knew, kind of what I'm looking for, right? But having these units kind of all jumbled up. It's like, well, I might take a 5-unit class and the next thing you know I'm on a 20-unit class, and obviously 20-unit classes can take a lot longer. So I found it was easier for me to sort of sort by the amount of time that it was going to take, which those title point values are what leads to the time, right? So I'm done with filters. So what I did was then I turned around and I sorted. So I click on sort and you'll notice it selected all of my data, right, for me, because that's what I want. And I'm going to say sort by, and I want title point value, and I wanted smallest to largest. If you wanted largest to smallest, you could do that as well. And then if you wanted to, I didn't at the time, but if you wanted to, I could add another level. So then I could say, how about program name or focus area? There we go. And then, and you can continue to add these levels. You can also delete them, but keep in mind that when you add them, it tells you right here, but if you don't see it, you won't maybe notice it. It's sorting by this topmost layer here, and then the next layer, and then the next layer, and then the next. So that may make a difference. So basically what I'm saying is that if you want to sort by multiple levels, you want to either put them in the order you want, or after you've set them, then you need to move them. So you can move these. I could even add another one and I can move these all around. You just have to click on the one you want and then say where it, does it go up or down? Where do you want to move that to? So it isn't that you have to put it in the right order the first time, but you want to be sure you're paying attention to what order you're putting these in here and move them around to the appropriate level at that time. So otherwise you're going to end up with results that might not make as much sense to you. So in other words, if I did focus area first, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to say okay. So here's the focus area. Now if you look, my title points, I have a 5 and then a bunch of 1s and then 2s, 5s, and it's actually still almost in order just because it has to do with the title, but it's not exactly right. So if I went back to my sort and I changed these to the way I originally wanted them, now it's going to be in order. So see, now I have all 1s and then I'll have all 2s. There's a couple 3s, some 4s, 5s, all the way up to 20s, right? And then within those categories, that focus area is going to be, and see, this is why that didn't work great because a lot of them are not yet available, but you can get the idea of how that makes a big difference. Target audience might make that easier, might show that a little bit easier if I did target audience instead. Now what I would get is by point value, the target audience in order as well, so that all the first numbers of the actual points that I'm going to get for it would be the AMs, and then which is just me, which is like account manager, and then after that I would get the account manager and then some of the engineers as well, sales engineers, right? So that's how the different levels of sorting work, and that's how filtering also works. So the filters basically are adding these little categories that you can toggle information off and on. And then the sorting is what changes the way the data is displayed. So again, filtering is going to remove data that isn't of interest to you, and sorting is going to change the way the information is displayed to make it more easy for you and for whatever it is you're looking for in that data. And that's pretty much all there is to filtering and sorting. Thanks.